Everybody, Citrolf here. Welcome back to Dominions 4, where I'm playing as Satis in War of the Young Gods. And this turn is quite interesting. I've went out and made my actions already, thankfully, as it took me quite a long time to do so. And immediately what's going to pop out is the message and these two battles, with one of them being player versus myself, with me being the defender, and the event. So let's go down. First, we get a message from Saramasha, who I had messaged 2 turns ago about how there's an enemy that I know of in the east, and I don't really desire his land. And yep, he's just confirming that it's Niflheim, especially when he's afraid of the blessed giants. Research and alterations complete, level 2. Found a magic site in Gol Suthik, which gave the Well of Pestilence, which gave Rimon his disease. So yeah, gonna be hard to park armies there. And then the first battle of Coven Downs. Attacking independents. Not a lot of them. Just Wolf Tribe warriors. And we got our mercenaries with our main squad soldiers of heavy infantry. This guy got hit by a vine arrow. I think we just lost one of the pikeneers. We do lose a few pikeneers. More so probably from these arrows, because pikeneers only have well, actually a third to half of them are lost through arrows, while the rest are lost through this initial fighting. They do bombard their own troops with their little caution. I'm just going to speed through as we just easily roll over the first force. Just take a little bit more arrow fire. And then absolutely demolish the back line. And reroute them, only losing 8 troops. Specifically 8 militia. Then we're fighting against Yomi in the same province. Now I'm the defender now, and so I move first there, which is unfortunate. You always want to be the last person to move into a province if there's 3 people attacking it. Well, there wasn't 3 people attacking it this time, but there was 3 forces in play: Independence, mine, and Yomi's. These guys really annoying with their throwing flames, and it looks to be, and definitely their great clubs look to definitely be scary. And the Bakemono show are just regular troops, so they rout first after eating up quite a bit of my mercenaries. My heavy infantry follow, and then the main engagement. Fortunately, my Sacred Serpent is on fire, and also being attacked by 3 of them at once. And something that noticed is that after these guys die, yep, phone, they turn into spirits. Their spirit will survive. If the spirit is not slain or banished as well, it will form a new body over time. Omi are demons, it can be banished. The residual spirit form as a ghost can be banished as well. So we don't have any banishers here, so yeah, these forces are going to roll over us. Because we kill them and then they get it back up and hit us again. Though, and especially with their new bodies, they do 12 magic damage and are ethereal, making for quite the fight. They kill our Sacred Serpent, morale lowers, we rout. The militiamen finally rout in full retreat. picking out the back line. Then my commander falls to the back as he only has 7 movement. Yes, Phone, I hear you. And swiftly gets taken out by one of those Oni. Very unfortunate battle, mainly because I wasn't expecting to fight a player over that province. Then we had the Battle of Harrowwood, where we just sent a scout to attack and scripted it to retreat. Let's see what we have. We have Circle Masters and Conjurers, and a Sorcerer with a Ring of Fire. So yeah, blood and death spells being cast over here, and my guy retreating. Although he's taking a while to retreat, and he gets hit and takes a wound. Finally, Battle of Thorn. This is where our big forces were running into, and watching this battle is gonna help me plan for future army placement. And that's seeing how my plan with the cavalry starting back here and having them run up and engage at the back line actually it doesn't really work out, as they take so long to even get over to here while my main force is already engaged, and they finally even just run up onto the regular force, not even to the back force where the commanders are and the archers, making this force stay engaged for a long time. Very minimal losses on each side because of the high defense skill, and then finally routes on the right side after that last engagement where they were lost like 2 or 3 in a single turn. And an event in Dimmerwood gave it 3 misfortune and 30 unrest. So that place is gonna have a lot of bad events. And that's it. So, yep, Yomi controlling over here. Really unfortunate because Yomi's going to claim all of this land up in here, this northern peninsula area, and maybe even like over here, Largia, and here. Though if he does take Largia in here, it'll give him a border with Aberitos, which is nice. The more borders that an enemy has, the more people looking on taking that land. Squeaky ass chair. So 2 things that were interesting is one, pestilence. It spreads deadly diseases, which gave Roman his disease. It gives me a death gen per turn. It increases death in the province and boosts death ritual range, but I believe you have to be in the province for the boost to affect you. So yeah, any person I send over there to make death rituals will most likely get diseased unless they're like undead themselves. I'm moving my 2 forces over Thorn and Satis into Ravenna. I'm also hiring shipwreckers, which look to be Atlanteans from the portrait. It's very, very small that here, but it looks like these guys I can recruit over here from the Shambler Reef. Enables recruitment of Shamblers, which are these guys, which are amphibians and have dark vision 50 and 10 attack skill, 9 defense skill. So mediocre troops, but the ability to go in water is very good. Gosh darn it, this chair is too squeaky. So the ability to go water is really good, but I don't have someone I can recruit to command people into water. So the only way to get into water is to recruit mercenaries like those to send them into water, or to change my research in the Conjuration up to revive level 3 to revive Bane, which is a undead leader. And undead can go underwater. At least what I'm led to believe, at least. So, I'm sending the scout that got hit over here back through Hardwood. I'm gonna now advance on Hardwood as it doesn't seem too difficult to take. And I sent messages out to everyone, all my neighbors except Niflheim, about what I thought about Yomi being down here, because this is a lot of territory. Yomi's gonna claim this land, and he's going to take this and this land, as I believe. He's also gonna probably want this as it goes along with the river. And he's also gonna go through here, so he gets a lot of land. And also, he's very isolated from the rest of the world. Like, he can only be attacked through either going through me, Beritos, or Sarmatia. And even so, the only way through Beritos is this way. This is a one-way province. You can't, well, not one way, as it's a province that you have to go through to get it onto the other side. This is another one where you have to go through both of these provinces to get to the other side. And to be able to not take, if you don't take either of those, you're going to have to go through my lands or Saramatia's lands. So that's going to leave it up to me, Sarmatia, and Beritos, and possibly anyone who's right here in this area, to have to limit his expansion, as it's basically like the Australia of this land right here, and this peninsula right over here is like the Australia Risk, except only a little bit less impenetrable, as there's like only 2 ways to get in as opposed to 1. And including this, if one person gets control of this entire landmass, they are living large. Anything else? Oh yeah, I'm recruiting Scout, and this is as I look over all my provinces, see what I could recruit after seeing the Shamblers. I found that I could recruit Scouts here, which is preferable to for 25 gold and 4 resources, much more preferable to do that than to just take my Reborns off of research and casting for 5 death gems a Black Servant, whose job is only to scout and not really do much else. So I can recruit Scout, gonna park them probably at the neighbors, as seeing all the way up here isn't gonna be too useful for me. It's just gonna be something that I get to know Beritos' progress if I put him up here. Putting him up here also won't be too useful, because it's just like gonna tell me how finished that they are. So I have to choose which neighbor I feel like I'm gonna need to put it in most. And based on Niflheim's reaction to me taking Hardwood, I'm going to decide which neighbor of mine I feel I'm most worried about. I sent a message to Yomi about how I want the lands that I already have, and if he continues to just conquer downwards to the south, when he has this land up here that he's no doubt gonna claim over unless Beritos comes over here and takes this, I'm not going to really tolerate that, and I'll retaliate. They sent a message to Sarmatia and Beritos, basically telling us that there's two things that are going to happen. One is that we stop Yomi from growing to great proportions and ruling this whole subcontinent of ours. Beritos is not really part of the subcontinent. He's like the very edge of the big continent. And if that doesn't happen, option 2 will happen, is where he'll come to rule, basically have too much of an influence on us for us to be able to do anything, and foreign nations will have to go through us into him, as I've stated that the only way to him is through here, which only is available during winter, which it is right now, or through Beritos' Strait, or me, and Sarmatia's lands. And I pointed that out to each of them. And also I noticed that Beritos is recruiting Ithids here, so he's gonna plan on taking this bay. I've already sent him a message, and I don't want to delete it and rewrite the whole thing, including another clause, because that the message is quite long. It's like 6-7 sentences that I'd have to delete entirely and completely rewrite, and I don't want to do it. So next turn I'll tell him he could have Dimral Bay, as it's basically adjacent to all of his lands right here, and only and less so my land. But I will not let him. I'm not going to see Coral Crest taken. This land over here doesn't matter. I'm gonna not hold a stance initially about anyone who takes it, but I'm going to be hopefully using the mercenaries, though, that I hire here after taking Hardwood, to go into Coral Crest into here, and making sure I have a good influence in the water. And I think that's about it. Recruit units, recruiting more heavy infantry and more reborns. I'm sending a force of Lizardair with 20 troops down into here to meet with these to make a total of 100 that are going to move on to the 90 mediocre units. The only ones that are going to be difficult are the heavy troops. Those ones are going to probably go even with my troops, but with the Sermons of Courage and also my own cavalry looking to flank the enemy, it should work out. I don't think I'm going to be getting Largia or Largan. I keep thinking one of these is an E. Largan. Because Yomi's, well, actually Yomi would have to go through here, so he would have to go through here or through my land to get Largan. So I do think I actually can get it. Unless he goes from here to Largan, which, yeah, he could, because it's winter now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. A lot of finding out who this nation is and warning the other nations about how strong that nation can get. That's basically it. Yep, nothing else. See you guys later.